Walk with me.
O Yahuwah, my heart is fixed. I will sing and give praise even with my glory. Awake, psaltery and harp. I myself will awake early. I will praise thee, O Yahuwah. Among the people I will sing praises unto thee among the nations. For thy mercy is great above the heavens, and thy truth reaches unto the clouds. Be thou exalted, O God, above the heavens, and thy glory above all the earth. That thy beloved may be delivered. Save with thy right hand and answer me. God has spoken in his holiness, and I will rejoice. I will divide Shechem and mete out the valley of Succoth. Gilead is mine, Manasseh is mine, Ephraim also the strength of mine head. Judah is my lawgiver. Moab is my washpot. Over Edom will I cast out my shoe. Over Philistia will I triumph. Who will bring me into the strong city? Who will lead me into Edom? Will not thy, O God, who has cast us off? Will not thou, O God, will go forth with our host? Give us help in time of trouble, for vain is the help of man. Psalms chapter 108, verses 1 through 12. Deliver me from the hands of evil spirits who have sway over the thoughts of men's hearts, and let them not lead me astray from thee, my God. Establish thou me and my seed forever, that we go not astray henceforth and forevermore. Yes, we thank God for you, and yes, this is a beautiful day. Yes, a beautiful day. In this country, it's Monday. I don't know where it is where you are, but I know that it is Monday. Yes. And so we're going to just rejoice and be glad in it, because God he's worthy to be praised. Either way, he's worthy. Yes, and we're just we're rejoicing over the things that are happening throughout the earth. God is setting one up as he's putting one down. And you notice here, even in the Psalms, he says that Moab is my washpot, Edom will I cast out my shoe. Over Philistia will I triumph. In other words, all that area belongs to the children of Jacob. That area belongs to the children. It doesn't belong to those who name themselves Arabs. It belongs to Jacob. Even Edom will be removed from that area and the world, period. He's going to cast his shoe out. In other words, he's going to send something that will flatten them out, put pain on them. That's what he's saying. Now, God, he means what he says. Now, here we are again. We're in the book of Jasher. But first of all, we want to thank God for those of you who have been with us since the beginning, and those of you that have been with us here and thereafter and here and there's about. We thank God for those of you that have just subscribed. We thank God for you. Yes, and those of you that are about to subscribe, we call those things that are not as bold though they are. Yes. Glory to the Most High. Yes, even him who have created all things. Yes, we're in Jasher, the book of Jasher, and we winding it down. We've gotten over the half mark. We're on the stretch. We're in the last stretch of this book here. And I must say it's been a very enlightening book. Very enlightening. Now, let's continue. Now, in verse 85, in verse 84, we find out Aaron died, and now we're in verse 85, where in verse 1 it says, and King Arad, the Canaanite, who dwelled in the south, heard that the Israelites had come by the way of the spies, and he arranged his forces to fight against the Israelites. Now, note that name Arad. Have you ever Telerad, the places of Arad that's in Palestine, or Philistine? They try to rename the stuff, trying to make it twist you up. But anyway, it's Philistia. But Arad, there's a town called Arad in Palestine or Philistia. Note, and in the part where the temple is, if you go on your map, you look on Google Maps and you go to where the temple is, you'll see, or Google Earth, you put Arad, you type in Arad, and then from there you type Telerad. Write that down, Telerad. It's a little ways from the town of Arad. Now, this is a Canaanite city, and most evidently it is named after this King Arad. Now, King Arad, the Canaanite who dwelt in the south, he dwelt in the south, and heard that the Israelites had come by the way of the spies, he arranged his forces to fight against the Israelites. That place is desolate now. And the children of Israel were greatly afraid of him, for he had a great heavy army. So the children of Israel resolved to return to Egypt. And the children of Israel turned back about a distance, 3 days' journey into Masarath bin Jachol. They were greatly afraid on account of the king Arad. And the children of Israel would not get back to their places, so they remained in Beni Jacon for 30 days. And when the children of Levi saw that the children of Israel would not turn back, they were jealous for the sake of the I am. Now see, there's something about Levi. A true Levi is going to be jealous for God. He's going to fight for God. Not for no Isis, not for no Jesus or this or that. God. He's going to learn his way. He's going to cleave to the law and the things of the law. He's going to learn that law regardless. And he look at you with that bombastic side eye when you violate the law and you call yourself a child of God, a child of Israel. Yeah, you got people that call themselves child of God, children of Jesus. They think Jesus is God and all this stuff. It's really disgusting, but the fact is that we have to be patient as well as God was patient with us while we were in that dilemma and that delusional mindset that was set by the Satans. Now, and the children of Israel would not turn back. They were jealous for the sake of the I am. They rose up and fought against the Israelites and their brethren and slew them. A great body forced them and turned back to their place. Mount Hor. And when they returned, King Arad was still arranging his host for battle against the Israelites. And Israel vowed a vow, saying, if thou wilt deliver this people into my hand, I will then utterly destroy their cities. And the I am hearkened to the voice of Israel. He delivered the Canaanites into their hands and utterly destroyed them. Now this is a time they were not in Canaan at this time. But there's a city named Arad, and I would suppose that it is named after this King Arad, a Canaanite. And their cities he called the name of the place Hormah. And the children of Israel journeyed from Mount Hor and pitched in Oboth. And they journeyed from Oboth and they pitched in Ajib Abarim in the border of Moab. You follow on a map if you have a map of the United States, or even just while you're listening to me, you can just follow on a map to where these things and just mark. Get an old map or on your computer or your tablet or even your phone. If you can just mark from here to there. Yes, that would be even good for you to understand. And the children of Israel sent Moab, saying, let us pass now through thy land unto the place. But the children of Moab would not suffer the children of Israel to pass through their land, for the children of Moab were greatly afraid lest the children of Israel should do unto them as Sihon, king of the Amorites, had done to them. So who had taken their land and slain many of them. So they were justified in their fear. You know, but fear doesn't mean that just because you fear what other person did doesn't mean that the next person is going to do that. Therefore, Moab will not suffer the Israelites to pass. And through his land, the I Am commanded the children of Israel, saying that they should not fight against Moab. So the Israelites removed from Moab. And the children of Israel journeyed from the border of Moab, and they came to the other side of Arnon, the border of Moab, between Moab and the Amorites. And they pitched in the border of Sihon, king of the Amorites, in the wilderness of Kedemoth. And the children of Israel sent messengers to Sihon, king of the Amorites, saying, let us pass through thy land, and we will not turn into the fields, nor into the vineyards. We will go along by the king's highway until we shall have passed thy border. But Sihon would not suffer the Israelites to pass. So Sihon collected all the people of the Amorites and went forth into the wilderness to meet the children of Israel. And he fought against Israel in Jahaz. And the I Am delivered Sihon, king of the Amorites, into the hands of the children of Israel. And Israel smote all the people of Sihon with the edge of the sword, and avenged the cause of Moab. And the children of Israel took possession of the land of Sihon from Amram unto Jabbok. In other words, we're going to take it. Unto the children of Ammon, they took all the spoil of the cities. All he had to do was let them through. That's it. And Israel took all these cities, and Israel went in all the cities of the Amorites, and all the children of Israel resolved to fight against the children of Ammon to take their land also. And the I Am said to the children of Israel, do not besiege the children of Ammon. He said, don't take this. I have another plan for these people. Neither stir up battle against them. So this lets you know who calls the shots. Who's calling the shot in the world today? Who's calling the shot amongst the Ashkenazi or the converts? Who's causing the shots between those who call themselves of Palestine? Who's calling the shots of Ukraine and Russia? Who's calling the shots between in the U.S. where this man allows these immigrants to rush and bombard into here? Who's calling the shot, and what is his plan? What is he setting up? Many times we don't see. We see the enemy. We see all the things that are culminating, but we don't ask God, what are you doing? Can I know? What should I do? Can I know? How shall I prepare? Will you tell me? Now, if you have kept the law, statutes, and commandments and ordinances of the Most High and forsaken that Esau's thing, then God may show you something or lead you in a way that you may not understand, but he knows what he's doing. See and know that you understand and know me, says God. That's what he says. All you have to do is just type it in, you're searching, you're going to find the scripture. I'm not quoting, I'm not making no prophecies or nothing. I'm just quoting what God says here. That's it. So the I Am said to the children of Israel, do not besiege the children of Ammon, neither stir up the battle against them, for I will give nothing to you for their land. And the children of Israel hearkened to the word of the I Am. See, you have to follow God. Again, as I reiterate, God does not follow you. God does not walk behind you. He does not have your back. God does not have your side, neither is he by your side. God is before you. You walk, you follow God. This is why he said, turn not to the left, neither to the right, and definitely do not look behind. Follow God. See, the Christians got all this, he walks with me, he talks. No, God don't walk with you. Don't walk with you at all. God walks ahead of you. He shows you the way to go. Even his laws, statutes, commandments, and ordinances. To look aside to Jesus, to look aside to Allah, or this, not Allah, but Muhammad, and this Gabriel thing, and all this other stuff, and these other abominations that have twisted the most holy word of the Most High, even his law, and what he says about himself. They twisted it. He said, look straight ahead. This is the only thing we have to look forward to is the law. Is what God says about himself through the prophets. Not what Gabriel said to Muhammad, not what Jesus said to so-called church. They tried to take the congregation of Israel and turn it into the church. In other words, they're taking the unclean things that God says don't do. And you notice how even in the New Testament, where it says that they try to make you think that it's so good for you to mingle with sinners and mingle with those who do not know God, mingle with those who are not of Israel. But in the Old Testament, they dismissing all this stuff with the New Testament. They concocted a way of trying to gradually get you away from the things of God. Even the apostles of the time, they try to make them, although they're fictitious, they try to make them seem as though they were gradually turning to the way, and the Gentiles have a right even over the children, even to the grafting in and all of this stuff. This scripture is not scripture. It's not even nothing. It's just hogwash. These are some subtle, deceitful abominations. God tell you to separate yourself, you separate yourself. Many of us, we're too lazy to read the history of Israel through the Old Testament, but yet we would go to the New Testament to get it all in a nutshell and then get a twist to it. And then we've been doing it so long that we think this is the way. This is your damnation, Christian. It's your damnation. Oh, you mean well, God understands that. But now he reveals these things to you, and you still hard-hearted. You see the things that are going on. If God was so much with this horde of unbelievers who do not believe in the law that God has put forth, but a man that hasn't done nothing, hasn't led you anywhere. Yeah, you say he died and rose again. Okay, all right, whatever. But the fact is that where have you gone? Who have you been delivered from? How have your enemies been subdued? Is there a history of how he subdued the enemies of those who followed him? Except for your light bill or your gas bill or some other jealous person? All you do is bicker and complain. Many of you are in poverty. You don't even know God for that reason. So who are you turn to? How is this Jesus supposed to replace God, who have blessed Israel in so many ways and gave them his will and his testament, which is the law, statutes, commandments, and ordinances? There is no other will and testament or testimony of God. Woo, you all don't get it. But either way, let's go again. Let's go again. All right. And all the children of Israel is all to fight against the children of Ammon. And the Lord said, don't do it. God said, don't do it. And in verse 21, and the children of Israel turned and went up by the way of Bashan to the land of Og, king of Bashan. You got to realize, Israel are seasoned fighters. They can fight. Those of you who call your name by the name of Judah, you ought to, and those of you who call you by the name of Israelite, you ought to be versed in weaponry and fighting. Because now is the time to do so, to defend yourself. God didn't ask for a bunch of effeminate men. He didn't ask for that. He didn't ask for a good choir or an organ player. God's people were very militant, very disciplined people. Everybody knew his way, but now your way have been distorted because of Deuteronomy chapter 28. This is why you are into Christianity now. This was the biggest thing that ever plagued the children of Israel, was Christianity. And so many times, as one brother says, this is the reality of those who say they believe, because it's been pushed upon them, and it's a collective belief. Okay? It's a collective belief. And because everybody does it, it just contradicted itself. This is a broad way. Christianity is a broad way, just like Islam and all the major religions of the world. It's a broad way. Everybody talking about it gets to God. No, it doesn't. Not at all. You can't obey the law even if you try, because you'll be rejected of your family, friends, and all these other things. And you will not find solace anywhere because they hate you. Even those who call themselves Christians. They don't love you. They don't want no part of you at all. Now, let us continue. We're going to stop right there at that point with that comment. But either way, and the children of Israel turned and went by the way of Bashan to the land of Og, king of Bashan. And Og, the king of Bashan, went out to meet the Israelites in battle, and he had with him many valiant men, and a very strong force from the people of the Amorites. And I mean, he's doing it in vain. God is going to strengthen his people, period. And Og, king of Bashan, was a very powerful man, but Naran, his son, was exceedingly powerful, even stronger than he was. And Og said in his heart, behold, now the whole camp of Israel takes up space of 3 pashas. Now I will smite them at once without sword or spear. And Og went up to Mount Ahaz, ain't no such thing as no J, and took therefrom one large stone, the length of which was 3 pashas. And he placed it on his head, and resolved to throw it upon the camp of the children of Israel, to smite all the Israelites with that stone. In other words, he's just going to bowl them over like a bowling ball. He had his bowling ball. Okay? And the angel of the I Am came and pierced the stone upon the head of Og. This is funny. And the stone fell upon the neck of Og, that Og fell to the earth on account of the weight of the stone upon his neck. You can imagine, like a cartoon. This guy getting ready to put this thing on his head, and all of a sudden, bloop, he's gone. Okay? Yeah, we used to watch the Looney Tunes when I was little. Okay? It's been around for a long time. Yes, I'm getting old, but I'm proud of it. Thank God that I'm old. Some can't even say that at this point. And some are my age and can't move or nothing like that. I'm thankful to God for that. You know, I might not be in the best of physical strength and all that, but thank God for it, and thank God for those who are in the best of physical strength at my age. But either way, to the children of Israel, be not afraid of him, for I have given him and all his people and all his land into your hands, and you shall do him as you did to Sihon. And Moses went down to him with a small number of children of Israel, and Moses smote Og with a stick at the ankles of his feet and slew him. Doesn't that tell you about something about the law? Just a little old stick. Just like that idol Daniel said he saw. God's going to smote the feet of this world system, this world's power. He's going to smote it. All that the philosophies of Babylon, of Persia, of Gracia, Rome and Greece, and then those who are still upholding their values. Come on here. Christianity, Islam, upholding their values, calling it orthodoxy, and all this other stuff. And those of you who call yourself, you are offshoots of it. You're just denominations of something that's not even a whole. It's a denomination too, of this very Old Testament that you read and get a little bit out of. The main thing you get out of it is tithes and offerings. It may be a song. When you supposed, if you're going by the New Testament, just take the Old Testament and throw it away. Just throw it away. It's no good. You said the law is passed. Why are you even listening to it? Why does the New Testament even talk about it? Your Jesus is supposed to eradicate things and make all things new. So just throw it away. You don't deserve the Old Testament. You don't deserve the perfect law of the Most High. If the law was perfect, and it's a lie to say the law was not perfect. Even the song says the law of the I Am is perfect, converting the soul, making wise the simple. So why was it not perfect? You said perfect through the flesh. Yes, it can. If you obey the law of the Most High, your flesh will become perfect because your mind is directing your flesh. Don't let this cockamamie stuff from the Greeks fool you. Now, at that time, the I Am said to children, be not afraid of him, for I have given him and all his people and all his land into your hands. In verse 26, I'm reading. And you shall do to him as you did to Sihon. And Moses went down to him with a small number of children of the children. See how God does? This is how God doesn't look at all your numbers. Because he's going to do what he's going to do because he's jealous for his own people. That's what he's going to do. He slew him at the feet. Now in 28, the children of Israel afterward pursued the children of Og and all his people, and they beat and destroyed him till there was no more remnant left of them. Just like he's going to do the feet of the idol, the feet that holds up, that stands all the ideals of paganism and abomination and everything. This was a religious system and everything until, should I say, they stole the things of the Old Testament and of the children of Israel and made Christianity. Islam. Yes, and now you say you have peace. Why do you have peace? Oh my gosh. But anyway, you're that entity who calls himself Isis or whatever you want to call it. He walks with you. He talks with you. Yes, okay. I thought the same thing, but it was the mercy of the Most High that walked with me and talked with me, and his name was not Jesus or Isis or Yahawashai or Yahusha. He didn't have no feminine name. No. And the children of Israel after it pursued the children of Og and all his people, and they beat and destroyed them until there was no remnant left of them. This is going to happen to the world. With that small remnant. It's not going to be the remnant that's going to do it. It's going to be God. The remnant is going to watch God defeat his enemy. You can blow at the enemy and he's going to fall over dead. And Moses afterwards sent some of the children of Israel to spy out Jahaza. And Jahaza was a very famous city. And the spies went to Jahaza and explored it, and the spies trusted in the I Am that they fought against the men of Jahaza. And these men took Jahaza and its villages, and the I Am delivered it into their hands, and they drove out the Amorites who had been there. And the children of Israel took the land of the two kings of the Amorites, 60 cities which were on the other side of Jordan, and took the brook of Arnon unto the Mount Hermon. And the children of Israel journeyed and came into the plain of Moab, which is on this side of Jordan by Jericho. See, the 66 book's not going to tell you this stuff. No, they're trying to point to, the Greeks are getting to the point where they're trying to point you to Christianity. The sissified religion, that's what I call it. The punk religion. The punk version of Israel. Israel was not punks. Israel did what God tell him. God is a God of war. And who did he use? Israel. Even the women were tough. As you shall see in the book of Judges and different books that we shall explore. Yes. Israel was bad mamma jamma, as we say in the old day. Yes. They wasn't no jive turkeys, as we would say, because God was with them and they believed in their God. So all the men of Moab were greatly afraid of the Israelites, and the elders of Moab said, behold, the two kings of the Amorites, Sihon and Og, who were more powerful than all the kings of the earth, could not stand against the children of Israel. How then can we stand before them? And with that, you got to trust God with all your, don't walk before God, walk towards God. Look not to the left or the right, neither to the past. Yes, and he will direct your path. Read that Psalms chapter 37 again and again and again 3 times, and with that you will have peace.
Walk with me.